All right, we are now joined on the Soccer Hour, brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers, by the chosen son of the Bay Area. It is Nick Lima back with the San Jose Earthquakes. Mr. Lima, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, Ted. It's been a while, but I'm excited to be back.
Dude, it's great to have you back. I am thinking to when you were last here and all the things that have changed for you. You went and were a founding member of Austin FC. You got married. Now you've got a family. You also were in New England. It's been a bit of a wild ride. So now you're back in San Jose. I guess what have you learned over the past about 5 seasons?
Quite a lot. But it's been eventful. The ups and downs as sports go. The roller coaster. But on the family side, yeah, it's been pretty awesome and been blessed in that regard. And yeah, like you said, come back with a little more numbers here. But I'm excited to be back. My wife hasn't had a whole lot of experience here in the Bay, so we get to explore that now. Obviously where I grew up, where I played to start my career, and so she'll get to see a little bit of it. And I'm excited. We're excited. Yeah, everyone is.
Nah, man, she's going to understand why people enjoy the Bay Area so much. In addition to all the sports that you can do, you've got all the restaurants, all the museums, all the hiking. You got a couple hours to Tahoe and an hour to the beach. So for people who have not experienced it before, she's gonna see why a little bit of why the Bay Area is such a cool place to live. But I guess let's just talk about your career, man. Like, how do you feel you are as a player compared to where you were, when you left San Jose and where you are now? Because obviously you are a little bit older. It's my joke. None of us have ever been older than we all are today, but I would imagine you're that much wiser as a player too.
You would hope so. My wife might beg to differ in some regards, but yeah, as a player, obviously, just in a different mentality. Before I was trying to get out and do certain things in a career, and now it's more of you want to add to the quality on the field in the locker room. But as far as learning and what the game has taught me, yeah, in the last 4 years, it's been a roller coaster as well. As I've said, from successful years to conference finals and new franchises and or old ones as I went to New England and ones that have been around for a while. And you learn a lot in each place, each year, each locker room. So yeah. But it's been cool. It's been an awesome experience. Played with a lot of players, a lot of success under their belts to soak in and learn from. Maybe we didn't have the success we wanted in certain places, but yeah, it's been fun. And I guess as of late recently, obviously we're doing have a couple guys from New England as well
Mhm.
joining me. So I was with them the last year, and there's definitely some camaraderie with those guys, good players, good people, more importantly. And so I think it'll be really good as a foundation in the locker room because if I've learned anything, the locker room dynamic is huge in
Mhm.
successful teams, at least over time, and to be successful and to go through the up and downs of a season because there will be that for every team, the good teams, the bad teams. You need that foundation. You need the camaraderie first if you want it to be enjoyable, and usually, yeah, to actually go as far as you're capable of. That needs to be there.
I was talking to Ian Harks last week and Dave Romney the week before. I haven't had a chance to talk with Mark Anthony K yet, but the thing that I notice about the three of all of you guys as I think back on your careers is that you are three guys who know how to have fun, that you understand that aspect of it. But there is, and I mean this in the kindest way, there's a little bit of a red ass about all your games and a little bit of a pushback, a don't F with us mentality, which I think is needed in San Jose because I think that those players who went through a year like last year, they need to have more guys ready to push back and be that much more of an instigator. Not that I would classify you ever as an instigator, but I've never seen you back down either. And I think that there just needs to be more of that infusion to kind of build back the culture.
Yeah, I think one of the things that maybe I was upset with when I was here in San Jose to start was there's a certain outlook on the team from the league or from fans or from people who watch the MLS and see the Earthquakes in a certain light. And, before maybe I didn't like it because I was trying to do certain things or go certain places or, you know, we were trying to be given success in the way, I guess maybe we didn't win in the playoffs or we didn't win trophies.
Mhm.
And so, and we had all, of course, amazing players from around the league and you wanted more respect than maybe what we had at the time. And but man, that's part of it. You know what? You don't want to give us the respect, or you don't want to get, talk about us like the other clubs. Well, this club has some of the best players that the league's ever seen, from Wando all the way till now, and Christian Espinoza.
Yeah.
Guys like that who just go under the radar but are MVP caliber players. Cool. Don't give us the respect. We'll come into your house and we'll do what we do, and it's probably going to be scrappy, and but we'll get a win or a result. And that's what I've seen that San Jose's done kind of in the years I've been away, but also when I was here
Hmm.
and as I grew up and watched the teams. Maybe it's not the prettiest game in the world, but guess what? Miami didn't win.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be the prettiest. So there is that, and there's just things that I'm really excited to represent that this club has and be a part of, and being from here, that yeah, for sure, there's definitely a chip, and to come back and to have that fight, and guys like you said, the other guys who have that fight, regardless of where they've been, but
Mhm.
they're here now, that are going to bring that to the table, because yeah, any team this league, you need that, you have to have it. It's a league that's still it's chippy. There's a physical element to it. There's a technical element to it that, man, it's gotten pretty good, and it's pretty exciting to see all the players coming over and the quality, the on-field product, and how good these guys are. But there's definitely that element of scrappiness and physicality that the league, I think, is always going to have. I'm not comparing it to the Premier League in any means, but that league is, in my opinion, from top to bottom, the best league in the world. But it's a physical league.
Hmm.
I think at its core, you got to be physical and you got to last. And you can't be injured, because it's a physical league and you got to be able to go, go, go. The best players in those leagues are also physical guys, from Salah to Holland and everyone in between, or from there on down. And I think this league is similar in the sense that it's physical first. Um, and so I like that. I like that opportunity, and it fits my game for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to get to work and to have a renewed fire to fight for something that I believe in, and that's my hometown club. So
Love it, man. I love it. Looking back at the Earthquakes last year, especially a year after they made the playoffs in 2023, and I believe qualified on the last day of the season in a draw against Austin.
yeah, I was in that game.
Yeah, and I guess, like, would you have ever seen last year coming for San Jose, where they were at the bottom of the table? Because listen, a bad season can happen, but there was no way that I would have ever said, "Oh yeah, the Earthquakes are going to lose 25 games and set the record for most goals conceded in a season after their 2023 season." Like, that just wasn't part of my view of the team, and I'm just curious where that lines up with you. Like, do you think, like, hey, this team, don't get fooled by the record. They should not have been that bad. This team can make a big turnaround?
You know what? It's funny because you're on the East Coast, and I think I talked to you a little bit about trying to watch Sharks games on the East Coast, and when you got a 1 year old, your bedtime's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so I was staying up for zero West Coast games, Sharks and Quakes included. But yeah, you see those things. And I'll speak more on the Revolution. When I got traded to New England, that roster from top to bottom was great. And I think there was guys or at least two guys in every place almost on the field that could have plugged in, kind of, that were equal, or at least could have their own impact in a way that they've done somewhere else and in New England, because there was talent. There's a lot of talent on that roster, and we had uh, a pretty tough year. We didn't finish anywhere where we thought we would, or were projected to in the beginning of the year, and but I think that's just hype, right? And so you got to go out and you got to play, and there's other factors at work, and I think for San Jose, yeah, like you said, that wasn't a thing that I would have thought was going to happen to them, because I think similar to us, the roster was good. There were good pieces and good things about it. So yeah, you don't expect that, and the excitement too to come back and to be a part of this organization again is that I think it was that was probably the exception, and so okay, that happened, but we're very confident that that's not going to happen again. And there's a lot to work on, probably more so from 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs were there, and then a couple new pieces. But yeah, there's also, I think I don't know the record, but the year I was in San Jose, I think it was 2018. We had a pretty poor year too. But when you come off of bad years, I think there's definitely a new fire to
Mhm.
dig yourself out of the hole because you can be depressed and you can be sad about it, but then you're the victim. So I think, you get angry about it and you try to do something to fix it. All right, it happened, but let's get up, let's make it happen and go get some results. So I'm excited to be a part of that and get back to the playoffs because man, there's nothing like playing in the playoffs. That's the most fun. That's for sure.
Tell me about your knowledge of Bruce Arena because obviously you were with the national team after his time, and you didn't really line up with him in New England. But I feel like everybody in the American soccer scene knows a little bit about Bruce Arena, or at least enough about him to know why he is at such a high level and in such high regard as being the most successful American soccer coach in the history of the sport. So, I guess what are your thoughts on playing for Arena, and what have the other guys told you about him?
Yeah, I think obviously I know everything that people can see as well from his success on the national team to the clubs that he's been at. And so that was exciting for me as a soccer fan, not just a player. But yeah, I've heard things in the locker room as recent as last year in New England. So, all the guys that were with him, they all had nothing but good things to say about Bruce. And before I knew that, the guys were getting traded here, I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. Bruce Arena is going back to San Jose, and I'm lucky enough that it worked out. And since then, the conversation's also about Bruce and who he is and his style and the success that he's had. Yeah, I'm excited and really excited to just get to work here pretty soon, huh? A couple weeks.
Yeah, man, it's coming up
Yeah,
fast. I mean, that's
yeah,
the fun thing is that the season comes to an end and then there's a quick turnaround. I mean, it's not as short as some of the European leagues, so they've got like a month. But I would imagine that I remember back in the day. I think after the 2017 season, you were like, yeah, it's over, but I'm thinking about doing a 5K or a 10K after that. I was like, no rest, and you were like, no, why would I want to do that? So I guess where are you in your off season plan right now? Did you take, any time off? I know that, you're an outdoorsman as well. What's it been like for you and what are you working on right now?
well, I just biked to Walnut Creek on a 40-mile bike ride. If you're asking about rest today, so it was a little zone two cardio day.
There we go.
Uh,
That's active
yeah,
rest.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So that was pretty awesome. But
Did you do
yeah,
the Iron Horse Trail?
yeah, I went out to Pleasanton and then hooked it north on Iron Horse and went out to Walnut Creek and had lunch with a couple of buddies. So that's why I was late to this interview.
Well, now
But
I feel upset because I live in Clayton. You should have told me. I'm 10-minute drive
oh
away.
man, well now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know. um, yeah, so I have my stuff scheduled out. I do my own thing. I tweak it every year, right? Of things I want to work on, maybe things that were lacking in the most recent season. I'll focus on a little more in the off season. Maybe I felt slow that year. Maybe I'll work on some quick twitch stuff and explosive movements, or maybe I felt weak and or I got hurt or whatever. So yeah, I don't take a whole lot of rest in terms of days of rest. Yeah, you absolutely need the rest intermittently in your training cycle, but I love the off season in the sense that I get to actually focus on different parts of the body because it's a long year, man. It's super long, and you don't really get to work on a whole lot because you're just trying to maintain at a certain point. And like other sports, you can build a foundation, and then you pretty much it's a sprint, and then you have all the tools that you worked on in the off season. Whereas soccer, you can put on muscle as much as you want, but you're going to lose it so quickly. It's such
Yeah.
a long year, and it's probably more or less why a lot of guys get hurt in some regard. Um, and so yeah, just try to do that and then do a little bit of the fun stuff. Do stuff that I'm not normally doing, and whether it be swimming or rucking up mountains or doing long bike rides
Mhm.
and those kind of things, or even trail runs. Because man, I don't do that to my body and during the season just because the ground and pound
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, it's I take the opportunity to have fun with it, but definitely there's a schedule for me to be better at certain things, certain aspects. And then obviously there's the build up for which will probably start. I'll start like a real soccer focused, intense thing here before we go into camp. But I like it. I just like working, and so yeah, it's fun. And like you said earlier, the being in the Bay Area has so many things that you can do. I was mountain biking in Arnold the other day, and I'm road biking here today. And then you can go to the beach and get some beach runs in if you really want to. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
I'm sure after your
it's a
time
lot.
with Almeida, you probably have had enough beach runs.
I actually loved that. It was great. It was great because well, before then yeah, I didn't have a wife and kid to get home to, but the double days you literally just train, eat, sleep, and repeat for however long. And man, I did feel fit and strong though. I love that part of it. So, but I'm kind of sick like that. So
Well,
it was yeah.
it's a good sickness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I will let you get back to the fan, man. I appreciate your time. I'm stoked you're back here in San Jose, and I will see you out at PayPal Park real soon. All right, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thanks, Ted. Awesome to see you again.
Likewise.